How would you like to join an exclusive group that'll help you get better at Sudoku? I'll reveal my secrets to solving Sudoku puzzle packs and why these cells are colored green and red. Also give you 4 strategies you need to know to solve puzzles like this. Click below if you want to give this puzzle a go, and with that, it's solving time. And so before you get started, you do have to look at these rules. Normal Sudoku rules apply. There's a trivia question associated with each puzzle. Each answer has an associated digit. You want to place the digit of the correct answer to that question into all of the green cells to solve the puzzle. And then you'll find out the value of the red cell as you solve along and use that to get the final solution to the puzzle pack. Okay, all my viewers out there, if you saw my community tab from Wednesday, I gave the actual trivia question, the math question you need to solve to get the digit that goes into these green cells. And it's okay if you missed it. I'll give you that question right now. If a backyard is 50 feet long and 20 feet wide, how many square feet is the yard? And so if you remember from your school days, 50 times 20 area equals length times width. You'd multiply those two numbers together and you get 1,000 square feet, which equates to the number 4. Option 4 was 1,000 square feet. So you put a 4 in all these, and now you can start solving the rest of the puzzle. Greetings, friend. I'm giving you a sneak peek to my August Rewards puzzle pack. Are you smarter than the 5th grader? It's based on the popular TV show. You had to answer a math question to get the givens for this puzzle. For the other puzzles in the pack, you have to answer questions from other school subjects. I'll show you the strategies you need to know in order to figure out this red cell. First, you want to find some restrictions in the puzzle. Look here in block 8. Where can a 1 go? Because you have a 1 in column 4 and a 1 in column 5. Only one place for a 1 in block 8 is right there. And so this is going to lead me up to that first strategy of 4 that I want to talk to you about. Notice how this one cuts across row 7. And this one comes down column 9. There's only 2 possibilities for a 1, and so I'll mark that using Snyder notation. Anytime in a 3x3 block, you have 2 possibilities for a candidate. You mark them in case you solve one cell, you can solve the other right away. This gives you an idea of somewhere restrictions are. These ones are special because they are a pointing pair. What that means is since the ones are restricted in block 9 to column 8 here, a 1 cannot be anywhere else in this column outside of the block. It can't be here already because of this one, and it can't be here because of this one. But now 1 can't be here either. If you put a 1 right there, you'd have no place to put a 1 here in block 9. And that's my strategy number 1. You've got to find these pointing pairs. Because what this pointing pair does, along with this one and the 1 in row 1, is allows you to solve a cell here in block 3. Okay, and now we can use some Snyder notation to put Snyder 1s in block 4. Let's move on to the 2s. You might see here with the 2s, you have a 2 coming down column 4. There's only 2 possibilities for 2 in block 8. You have Snyder plus 1. That means you got another pointing pair. The 2s cannot be here, here. They can't be here because of this 2. So now you can solve this cell for a 2 in block 2. And after solving that, we're going to find another pointing pair. You'll notice that a 2 comes up column 7. 2 cuts across row 5. So you have a pointing pair of 2s here in block 6. So you use this 2, the pointing pair of 2s, and these 2s, you can solve for 2 here in block 3. That's the only place it can go. And then we have another pointing pair of 2s. All right, with this 2 and this 2 coming down, pointing pair of 2s in block 4. And then with this 2, you can put 2s here in block 7. Okay, there's no Snyder marks with the 3s, but with the 4s, we can make a few solves. With these 2 4s and this 4 now, you can solve this cell for a 4. And with these 2 4s and these 2 4s, you can solve this cell for a 4 in block 9. And no other Snyder marks we can make there. With the 5s, you have these 2 5s in rows 5 and 6. You can put Snyder 5s in block 5. And then with the 6s, we can make a couple of solves. You might notice there's a 6 coming up column 6. You have a 6 cutting across row 3. Where can a 6 go? right there. And then with these two sixes, only place for a 6 in block 8 is right here. Looking good. And we're leading up now to my second strategy. I want you to know the first strategy was pointing pairs. The second strategy you'll see quite a bit in puzzles like this, also in other championship competitive puzzles as well. Notice here in row 5, the 2 and the 6 both cut across, and the 2 and the 6 are both in column 7. So now working a 6B in block 6. It has to be right there. In the same two spots as the 2s, and I'll kind of highlight that in orange. Whenever you see this situation, I call it Snyder on top of each other, you have found a hidden pair, and that's my strategy number 2. You got to find these hidden pairs. Since the 2 and the 6 can only be in those two cells in block 6, no other candidates can be there. So you can eliminate everything else and make that a nice 2-6 pair. So strategy number 2 is the hidden pair, and you need those to solve puzzles like this. Hidden pairs also act as pointing pairs when they're in the same block. And so now you can see 6 and these two 6s, and this 6 right here, you can solve for 6 in block 9. And we're not done. We actually have some more 6s we can mark. With these two 6s, you have 6s in block 1. And then with these two 6s, you have 6s in block 7. And this leads me up to my third strategy. All right, third strategy you need to know. You want to focus on where these 6s are in blocks 1 and 7. You might notice that 6 can only be in columns 1 and 2 in block 1. They can only be in columns 1 and 2 in block 7. So a 6 can either be here and here, or it can be here and here. Where can a 6 be now in block 4? Well, it can't be here, here, or it can't be in any of these 4 spots, because if you put a 6 here, then you run out of spots to put 6s in blocks 1 and 4. Whenever you see this situation, Sorry, Anthony calls it a mini X-wing, you have found a claiming pair. You found basically a claiming candidates right here in column 3 in block 4. And if all 3 were available, it would be a claiming triple. Because there's only 2 spots available, you found a claiming pair. And this is my third strategy, claiming pairs. You got to find these. These are a little trickier to spot. And if there's only 1 candidate available, it'd be a claiming single or a hidden single. All right, but that's going to help us with some other solves later in this puzzle. All right, now let's move on. There's no Snyder marks we can make with the 7s, but we can do some solving with the 8s. With these two 8s, there's only 1 place for an 8 in block 5. It's right there. And then in block 9, with these two 8s, you can solve for an 8 right here, displacing that Snyder 1, so you can solve for a 1 immediately. And now, notice how this 8 cuts across row 5. You end up with a pointing pair of 8s in block 6. To go with this 8, and the 8 already in row 2, you can solve for an 8 up here in block 3. And then with this 8, and this 8 coming up here, you might notice you have a 2 and an 8 cutting across, and a 2 and an 8 coming down column 3. The 8s are in the same spot as the 2s, and so you found another hidden pair. 2, 8. All right, so we're using pointing pairs, we're using hidden pairs, we found claiming pairs. You use them repeatedly to solve this great puzzle that you're working on. And so this 8, this hidden pair, pointing pair of 8s, these two 8s you can solve for an 8 up here in block 1. Now with the 9s, you might notice with this 9 and this 9, you can solve for a 9 in block 5. And with these two 9s, you got Snyder 9s in block 6. And then you might notice with this 9, going 2 places for a 9 in block 3. And we have a similar situation what we have with the 6s. You'll notice that the 9s are now restricted to columns 8 and 9 in blocks 3 and 6. But guess what? It's not quite a mini X-wing, but it still has the same situation. You're going to find claiming candidate here in column 7 in block 9. And since the 2 and 3 are already right there, the 9 has to go in this spot. So you use that variation of that claiming pair strategy I told you about. We still got one more great strategy, but also have a nice bonus tip I want to share with you. But first, let's make some more marks here. With these two 9s and this 9, you can solve for a 9 in block 7. And with those 2 9s, you have Snyder 9s in block 1. And so I'm about to reveal one of my favorite solving tips with you. A little bit later on, I'll give you that 4th strategy. But this solving tip, this is going to help you solve easy to medium puzzles much faster and allow you to get deeper into the solves of harder puzzles. Before I do that, I just want you to know that you may be able to sharpen your mind quicker than you think. Join the Smarty Party. I'll send you monthly puzzle packs along with other exclusive content. And the real value is you get to sharpen your mind in a fun and creative way. But don't just take my word for it. This is what members had to say about my puzzle packs. Click on the pinned comment within the next week, and I'll send you the rest of this puzzle pack. And don't you want to solve the rest of this pack? Isn't this a great puzzle to solve? Click below to join the Smarty Party today. And so my favorite solving tip to you, whenever you run through all the Snyder notation with all the digits, go back to the puzzle if you've made a few solves. You usually will find a few more solves, a few more Snyder marks you can make. Do not jump right and look into more advanced strategies. For example, we can look here in block 9. You'll notice you only have 2 possibilities left because you have a 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 8, and 9. We just need a 5 and a 7. So there's your 5 and there's your 7. And now with this 5, you only go in one place in block 8. So that's your 5 displacing that Snyder 2. And now you can displace the Snyder 2 and solve this cell for a 2. And we're getting closer to that strategy 4. And this strategy is going to help you through what I think is the coolest part of this puzzle. First, you want to look up column 5. And notice there's only one possibility left. This is called a full house when you have 8 of the 9 cells filled out. The only thing left is a 3. So we can mark a 3 right there. And then with this 3, you actually have Snyder 3s in block 5. And then with the 5s, you may notice that with this 5 and this 5, you can solve for a 5 in block 3. We only have 2 possibilities, a 5 and a 7 here in block 2, so I'll mark those. And you only have 2 possibilities, a 5 and a 7 in column 4. I'm going to mark that as well. And now we're up to my 4th strategy. This is the neatest part of the entire solve, I think, and involves pairs. I've already covered pointing pairs, covered hidden pairs, and I've covered claiming pairs. We're going to do another type of pair. And it's going to help you solve this cell right here. And so in order to do that, we want to see what kind of restrictions do you have here in column 3. You might notice you have a 2, 4, 5, 8, and 9. We just need a 1, 3, 6, and 7. You have a 3 and a 6 right here. So that just leaves a 1 and 7. You have 1s. Snyder 1s right there, so those can't be 1s. And then you have a 7 and a 6 right here. So that's going to be a 1 and a 3. So we got to figure out, is this going to be a 1 or a 3? And so we're going to use some pairs to figure that out. The other kind of pair is a naked pair. That's when there's only 2 possibilities, same 2 candidates and 2 cells of a Sudoku row, column, or block. Go over here to column 7. You'll notice you have 7 digits filled out, and the only thing we're missing is a 7 and 8. So this is a 7-8 naked pair. So this is the last pair I'm going to talk to you about. And since this is a 7-8 naked pair, you have a 2, 6 right here and a 1, 4, 5. The only thing remains is a 3 and a 9. So this creates another 3, 9 naked pair in block 6. And now with this 3, 9 naked pair and these 5 cells, there's only 2 possibilities left in row 5. This now has to be a 1, 7 naked pair. And since the 1 and 7 are restricted to these 2 cells, a 1 and 7 cannot be anywhere else in block 4. You cannot have a 7 in these 2 digits anymore, because if you did, you'd run out of values to put in these 2 cells. So this is now a 3, 6 naked pair. And guess what? A naked pair acts as a pointing pair when it's in the same block. And so now 3 and 6 got to be in one of these 2 cells. This can no longer contain a 3. Awesome. And so all those pairs, all those naked pairs, get you to this spot where you can solve this cell now for a 1. And now what do we want to do? And let's see how much more solves you can get after making that solve, because we still haven't gotten to the red cell yet. With this one, you know this has to be a 7, which means that's a 5 and that's a 7. with these two 7s. You can solve for 7 right here. And then we can kind of look here in block 3, so there's only 2 possibilities left. You need a 3 or a 9. I got a 3 right here. That's a 3, and that's going to be your 9. And now this 3 allows you to solve this for a 9 and solve this cell for a 3. Okay, making a lot of restriction here. Take this 5, and we can finish column 4. That's got to be your 7. And now we can disambiguate the 8 and the 7 in block 6. And with this 8, I can disambiguate the 2 and the 8 here in block 4. And then take this 2, disambiguate the 6 and the 2, and finish up block 6. So far, we're looking great. Take that 6. That's a 3, and that's going to be a 6. And now with this 3, you also notice with that 7, you displace that Snyder 5, displacing that Snyder 3. You can solve all of that. We are looking great. Come on down here. We just need like a 3 and a 5 here. We need a 6 and a 7 right there. Can we do better? And we sure can, because you want to see that this 9 allows you to displace that Snyder 9 and solve this cell for a 9. The only thing left in row 3 is a 1, allowing you to displace and disambiguate the 7 and the 1 here in block 4. And now we know that the 7 has to go here, displacing that Snyder 6. We can displace the Snyder 6. The red cell cannot be a 6. This cell has to be a 6. And you might notice what's the only thing remaining in row 1. We have a 1, 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. This cell has to be a 3. The importance of this red cell is now you take that along with the other 4 red cells you solve in my puzzle pack, and you'll come up with a 5-digit code. You send me that code, get the correct solution. I give you a shout out in the last video of the month. So join the Smarty Party. I'll give you the rest of this pack, and you already know that digit 4 is a 3. Okay, and we can take that 3, solve for a 3 right here in the corner, bum bum bum, displacing. And the only thing you can solve now in block 7 is a 5. I don't see a 5 in block 3, so our last digit has to be 5. Check out this next video to get a preview of one of my other great puzzle packs. Thank you so much for watching.